Hi guys, and welcome back to EasyPy 3. In this lesson we'll be looking at loops, in particular the while loop. Loops are used to do things over and over again, so we don't have to type out the same instruction over and over. Let's once again start by giving you a real life example so you can understand better. Imagine you have a large container of water with a temperature of 50 degrees Celsius, and you wanted to reduce the temperature down to 25 degrees. Now, if I say to you, while the temperature is too high, add ice cubes, that would make sense, right? Well, Python follows the same pattern. First, we create the variable temperature, and we can assign 50 to it. Then we write while with a lowercase w, which as you can see is a keyword since the color changes. And then temperature is greater than 25, colon, and then new line. Indent, print ice cube added. Notice that the format is the same as an if statement. However, if I run this, you can see that it goes in a loop printing the same thing over and over and over, and it will continue to do so unless you interrupt the program.
You can press Ctrl+C for keyboard interrupt.
This shows the main difference between while and if statement. If only takes place once, whereas while goes in a loop as long as the condition is true. The reason our program was stuck in a loop and kept adding ice was because we didn't relay any information of the temperature change. Think of it this way, how would you know that you brought down the temperature to 25 degrees? You need to measure the temperature, right? So you know when to stop adding the ice cubes. Let's say each time you add the ice, the temperature goes down by 5 degrees. Let's show that in Python. We're going to see the temperature. And then add ice cubes after. Then we will tell it that the temperature goes down by 5 degrees. Note I've used the assignment operator as a shortcut here. Outside the loop, we'll write the temperature is 25 degrees. Notice the indent level has to be the same inside while, just like it was in the if statement. Now, if we go ahead and run that, as you can see, the loop breaks now because the temperature is being updated in each loop till it comes down to 25 degrees, at which point the while statement becomes false, thus ending the loop. So in a nutshell, the while loop is like the if statement, except it keeps running as long as the statement stays true. Just like the if statement, while loop also has an else branch, but it's not really used much. The main difference between if else and while else is that the else branch here is always run regardless of whether the loop has run or not. Let's show you an example so it makes more sense. Say we have a variable called x and 0 is assigned to it. And we say while x is equal to 5, we go ahead and update x to x plus 1. And we print loop ran. And we use the else statement to print else ran. If I run that, we should get else ran as an output because x is not equal to 5. Okay, so that works as normal. But if I now go ahead and change while x to not equals to 5 and run that, now we get 5 loop runs and else ran. So regardless of the loop, else will always run, except if you break it. Now, what do I mean by break it? If we look at the same code again, and now let's make things a bit more interesting and add an if statement. If I write if x is equal to 3, break, and run that, as you can see now, the loop ran 2 times and the break ends it on the 3rd, even though the condition is still true. Note that this time the else statement didn't run. There is another statement that can be used with loops, which is called the continue statement. Once again, let's look at the same code. This time, if we change break to continue and run that, if you notice, everything ran as normal except the third loop. It's gone. So the continue statement stops the loop number it's on and continues with the next one. That's it for while loops. Remember, while the condition remains true, the instruction will be repeated. So always make sure you set an instruction that will eventually make the condition false, or use the break statement. Up next, we have a project using the while loop so you can have an even better understanding. And like always, if you still don't understand something, you can always get in touch with me.